Good morning, everyone. So today I'm going to go through two demos. The first demo is that we are going to use accelerometer samples to trigger to do some application. And the second thing is that we'll use the Bluetooth or IP contact technology to detect where you are indoor or out, you are in the office or out of the office. And by the way, all the codes are already committed to this link on the behalf. So if you want, you can, after the class, you can go to this link and download the code and play with our applications. Okay, so the first app we're going to do is that we just do simple applications. We flip the phone up and down, and when I flip the phone up, then I will send a send a message to Twitter. If I flip the phone down, then I'm going. Oh, actually, this is the other way around. But if I flip the phone down, I will send a Twitter. If I flip the phone up, I will play the music. Okay. Sorry about the confusion. So what we are going to do is that we will learn how to do the layout thing in Android Studio, and the second thing is that how to acquire the sensor data from Android, and then we want to show the AI. We want to update the we want to update the user interface, and then of course we also want to interact with the phone, right? So we will teach you like the button thing, and then the final thing is that we will send a request to a cloud service, which in this case we use if TTT, which stands for if this then that cloud service to do some applications. Before the demo, I want to give me a second. Ooh, it's so small. Okay. So can you see this this screen? So this screen projects my phone, so you can see whatever I'm doing from my phone. So when you develop the Android program, you probably want to make sure that your phone is in the develop mode. So this is very easy to be ignored. So the first thing is that you go to settings, and then previously you will not have these developer options, but you go to the about phone, and you click the view number. You need to press 7 times. Yeah, and it says I'm already a developer. But when you first time do that, you will see like the counting down thing. And then afterward, you will see the developer options. You probably also need to enable, let me see, USB debugging. Yeah, you need to enable this. Otherwise, when you launch Android Studio, the Android Studio will not see this phone. Okay. So this is the first thing. And the second thing is that when you download the Android Studio, the very first thing you probably want to check is that you want to check the update of the SDK. And how do you do that? You go to Tools, and you go to Android, and there's a SDK Manager. So it will show you like what are the SDK you have in the Android Studio. Probably in the beginning you only have 1 or 2, but you want to cover like the latest one for sure, right? And also probably some previous versions. So in this case, and also they also download some platform tools and some other tools, which in total in my case, it took 1 hour for me to download everything. So make sure that you go through this process. Otherwise, you cannot do a develop on Android. Okay. So the first thing is that we want to go through a demo, right? And the demo is about we want to flip the phone. If it is face up, then we want to do something. We want to face down. We want to do analysis. But how does the phone know that you're facing up? Or fortunately, in the phone, there's the accelerometer. Accelerometer, by definition, is that you can sense the acceleration, right? But from Newton's first law, it says that if you can get the force, then how do you get the force, right? The force is the multiplication of the mass and the acceleration. So can we sense gravity? This is the very first question, right? Fortunately, the phone can sense the gravity. So it will also reflect the value in as a acceleration value. So if we see that it not only sense the gravity, it also sense the direction of the gravity, right? So we can use the direction to see as an indicator to see where it face up or face down. Okay, so let's get back to so this is the Android Studio and this is the phone screen. When you program a Android application, probably you will visit 3 items very often. As Chen Guang mentioned, there is the application navigator, right? So 3 items. The first is the manifest file, which is inside the manifest folder. This one. So it declares the structure of the entire application, right? The second thing is the code. Oh, excuse me, I cannot. Yeah. So the second thing is the code. Like you want to write some code so that you want to put some logic in the code to make something happen. In the Android Studio, they also integrate the test case. So as you can see, the second folder and the third folder, they are all about the test case. But we probably don't care about this too much right now. What we care is about our real code, which is main activity.java. Okay, and the third thing, which is also very important, is that in the RES folder, which stands for resource, there's the layout folder. So this is the place that you can see, you can do the layout thing. So I open the activity main.xml, but you see the XML file, right? Which is pretty scary. But you also notice that there are 2 tabs on the bottom. One is a design tab and one is a text tab. So text is like the XML thing, but actually Android Studio give you the interface so that you can drag and drop all the UI elements. So it is pretty handy. For example, if I want to put a button, I just select this button and put whatever I want. As you can see, did you see the green line on the button? That means that I want to align along that line, right? Because sometimes I just want to put the button in the bottom, right? Bottom of the screen, right? You can do other things. You can put, let me check. For example, you can also put like an edit field, put onto the place you want. It is very easy, but sometimes it can be frustrating because the screen is small, and also I think there's probably some problem in the current user interface. So in that case, you need to go back to the text tab. Basically, what I show you is equivalent, right? The first one is the render thing, but the second thing, what I show you right now is the XML file, which is really how the information is stored in the Android application. So in some sense, you can also change the layout from the XML file. For example, if right now I have the text view button, text view. If I change the first one, I change to whatever, right? And I go back, and you'll see it also updated. Okay. So for the sake of the demo, let me go back. Let me delete the button and also this button. Oh, by the way, so as you can see in here, this is the component tree, because sometimes you want to partition your screen. You want to do like upper panel, you want to do something, bottom panel, you want to do something. So in this case, you probably want to put some layout. So in the first part, there's some layout. You have relative layout, you have linear layout, and then in one layout, you can put other components. So that's why it's called component tree, because it will show the entire hierarchy. So this is the first thing. So let's assume that we already have the interface. We have 2 buttons. We have like 3 text fields, and then we want to do some programming work. Okay, so three things. The first is UI, the second is manifest, and third is code, right? So we go to the code. Let me go back. Okay, forget about this right now. So when you open an application, pretty much what you will see is like this one. You have a activity, and inside the activity you will have like several callback. One of the callback is called Uncreate because it allows you to do something like what are you going to do when this application is created, right? So in our case, we want to the first thing we want to do is that we want to get the UI element instance. So in the beginning, we want to declare some Java objects. So the first thing we want to do is that we have three text fields, right? Text view. This is X. And we have three things because the accelerometer has three channels X, Y, Z. So we want to have like three text views. And also we have two buttons. Okay. The second thing, so these are only for the objects, but we want to assign values, right? So to assign value, we need to assign the value in the Uncreate, right? So what we can do ACCX equal to okay. So the the method you're looking for is find view by ID. But what ID are we looking for? So remember R is a special class. R.id in oh okay. Let me get back. Okay. So so this is the one I want wire to, right? This text field. So what is the idea of this text field? You can look into the ID field, and you see this is text field 1. So that's why here I type text field 1, okay? And then semicolon. In this case, probably you will have doubt, why do I want to put the text field? If you write a C program and if you use malloc function, you will also do a casting, right? So this is very similar to malloc. So basically, find view by ID, it returns a view object. But because the variable we are trying to capture this value is text view, which is a subclass of view, right? So that's why we need to cast it. And then because we have three channels, we do like X, Y, Z, which corresponding to text view 1 and 2 and 3. Okay. Now we finish the UI part. The second part I'm going to do is that I want to register the sensor service. To do the sensor service, I want to declare two objects. One is the sensor manager, and the second is sensor itself. So again, we declare sensor manager, which I call the name is also called sensor manager. And the second thing is that I have a sensor object, which that's called accelerometer sensor. Okay, so we have two objects. So we also need to, so we go back to the Uncreate callback, and we also want to register, right? Register the service. So the first thing is that we want to get the sensor manager. Sensor manager equal to get system service. Okay, this is a little bit long. So we want to get the system service. So basically in Android there are a bunch of different system service, and I use the sensor service in this case. And in the next app, we'll use another service, which is Bluetooth service, right? So we request a sensor service, and the system will return a manager, which is called sensor manager, as a pass to this value. Again, we need to cast it because it just returned a manager, right? But what we are looking for is a sensor manager, so we need to do a typecast. Okay, so we have the sensor manager. Then the second thing is that we want to get the sensor. So what we're going to do is that accelerometer sensor is the sensor manager dot get default sensor. So what I just did is that I asked the sensor manager to get a sensor, get a default sensor, and then what is sensor type I'm looking for? This is called sensor type accelerometer, right? So actually in Android they already define a lot of constants, so you don't need to look up what is the number and put into these parentheses. Actually, you can just use the macro. Okay, the final thing is that we have the sensor manager, we have the accelerometer sensor. We want to register the sensor into an Android operating system so that we can get the information. So the final thing is that we want to use the sensor manager, the register listener. We put this first, and then and also what is it? Let's see. Okay, so what I just did is that I put the sensor manager. I say I want to register listener. I put this. This basically refers to this activity. The second part is the sensor I want to get the information from, right? And the third thing, which is the sampling rate. So in Android, they define 4 different sampling rates. Delay normal, delay UI, delay focus. I forgot the last one. They have 4 different rates. Okay, now as you can see, actually Android Studio is complaining this is not there's some problem on this, right? The problem is that the first argument is actually for sensor data listener, but because we are activity, because right now the main activity is an activity, right? This is not a sensor event listener. So what we are going to do is that we want to implement ourselves as a sensor event listener. Implements sensor event listener. Okay, so it's still complaining. The Android Studio is still not happy. But wait. Okay, so if you move your mouse on a red line, it will show you something, but for some reason it doesn't show up. Usually there's the like a red balloon thing, and you click it, and you can fix it. So, but anyway, when you click the red balloon, it will show you like some suggestion. So what we're going to do is that we need to implement, because this is an interface, right? It declares some method, so we need to implement this method. In this case, we need to implement onSensor changed and onAccuracy changed. In this case, we only care about the onSensor changed because this is a callback when the sample data comes into our app. So in the callback, we have a sensor event, and in the sensor event, let me actually finish typing first. Okay, so let me just use the X channel of accelerometer first. So this is a text field we showed you previously, right? We want to change the text, so we do set text, and then we have we do something. We want to show this is X plus something, right? So how do we get the sensor value? All the sensor values are stored in the sensor event object. you do event.values, it will give you like 0 means X, 1 means Y, C means 2, 2 means C, etc. But you have like a lot of different sensors, right? So you might want to check from the Android developer website and see what does the like each index mean. But usually it refers to X, Y, Z. Okay, so right now we have X and Y and Z. Let me type this very fast. Okay, so sorry, I'm too fast. Well, right now we're in the middle phase of the application development, and we're ready to test it. So to test it, we need to click this play button. So basically, what it does is that it builds the entire project, compile, and transfer the binary into my phone. Okay. So I need to specify the target because you can use the physical device like this one, but you can also compile into an enumerator. In this case, I want to compile into my phone, right? So I double click. Oh, making me error. Oops. Yeah, let me do it again. Okay. So can you see a demo? It's like I'm facing up, right? So you can see it's 0, 0, and like 9.8 almost. But if I'm facing down, then it's like 0, 0, negative 9.8, something like that. And I can like shake my hand, I can do whatever thing I want. So actually, accelerometer is a pretty powerful accelerometer. Plus, there are some other sensors, right, like gyroscope and like magnetometer. These three sensors are pretty powerful to track your motion, like human motions. So in fact, you can think about some other applications. Can you check whether a user is walking or running or is sitting in front of the desk? If a user is walking, how many steps he walks, right? Okay. So what happened right now is that when I launch an app, it will show you this number, right? But in a normal case, it is pretty annoying because I really want to let the user to have a stop button and stop button so that if I want to get this service, I press a stop button. If I want to finish it, I can click another button. So how should I do that? So in the second part, I will not go through like the typing thing. Instead, I already have a code, so I probably just copy and paste the code, and we'll explain the code directly. Okay. Let's keep it. Will this be distracting? It will not, right? Okay. So let's go back to the Uncreate function again, callback again. So previously we declared like 3 text view, right? But we also have 2 other buttons. So we also need to do like r.id.button1, button2 to find these buttons. And then we want to register the Uncreate callback. Again, we register ourselves, which is the activity itself, to the click listener. That implies that we also need to implement something. We need to implement, so for the main activity, I need to implement the onClick listener. And of course, because you implement this interface, you need to implement the missing method, which is the onClick method. So what I did is that if you if you notice that, you will find that I actually move the sensor registration part into this method, right? If I click the button 1, which is the start button, I request the sensing service. If I press the start button, then I just unregister the listen and also set the sensor manager. No. Because the Java has a garbage collection thing, so it will remove the entire object. Okay. So this is the first thing, and the second thing is that right now we have the accelerometer value, right? We want to use the accelerometer values to do some demo. So we want to show that if this is like facing up, which is z equal to 9 or larger than 9, right? Then we want to do something. And if like facing down, then we want to do another thing. Okay, so to do that, we use the cloud platform which called if which stands for if this then that. So actually, let me show you the if this then that. Okay, so this is my account, and right now I already have like 4 receipts. So basically, this is one receipt, but it's just like one rule, right? Let's start from beginning. So let me turn off these 2 receipts, and let's create a new one. So what it is super easy. If this and that, you program a lot, you do a lot of things, right? So if this, so basically this is condition, right? What condition I want to do? In this case, let's use the maker channel. So the maker channel basically means that it gives you a URL. And then if I connect to this URL, then it will do something. So this is the condition part, right? Okay. Then I need to specify what is the event name. So let's say phone face. Let's say phone face down. Okay. Let's say phone face down 2 because I already used phone face down. Okay. If this then that, right? What am I going to do? I want to tweet. Okay, so I want to post a tweet, and then it can let me to do what am I going to do? Where I will say that I'm in class, and put a hashtag. Says spring 2016, right? Okay, so I put a hashtag. So I create an action. Okay. So it is just that easy. So I just create one receipt. So this is for facing down, but let me also do another receipt that is facing up. If this make a channel. Then that. What I'm going to do is that I want to do something on my Android phone, and then I want to play music. Okay, create action. So actually, how it works is that is that your key or my key? This is your key, right? I think my key is longer. So I open the browser, I pass the URL. So what happened is that we want to send it. If we use this URL and request the HTTP request, it will send to the maker channel, or the maker channel will go back to the if TTP platform, and if TTP platform will trigger the event we are going to do. So to pass the URL, this is my key. This is my personal Mac channel key, right? But this part is the but this is the the event name. So what I'm going to do is that I'm changing the event name. Previously we used the phone face up, right? Phone face up, phone face. Okay, phone face up 2, right? So in the browser, it will just show you this is like we already received something, but hopefully it will show me. Okay, it failed. Oh, sorry, I didn't click the create receipt button. Okay, so I create this one, and let me do this again. Okay, so oops, sorry. So I just play the music on my phone. Okay, let's finish it. Hey, this. Oh no. So can you follow my demo? So this is like how do I comment my phone from the HTTP platform? So we can do the same thing in the Android Studio. So what we need to do is that if we make a HTTP request on this URL, then we can do something, right? So let's get back to Android Studio. Previously on sensor change, we only have like these 3 lines, right? We just show the x, y, z values, but also we can also make some logic and say, okay, if the value is 2, which is the z value, is smaller than some threshold, the based on threshold, I want to do something. I want to show posts, which is like the button grading for notification. I want to send a HTTP request, and I want to maintain my state, which is stored in the phone face down boolean variable. And similarly, I want to do the same thing for when my phone is facing up. Then what am I going to do? One tricky thing is the HTTP request task, right? As Chen Guang mentioned, in Android it will run several threads, but one of the most important thread is called UI thread. And the UI thread shouldn't be blocked, otherwise your UI will be blocked, right? So Android also prevents this thing. If you block the UI thread, your application will get an exception and will be killed. So we need to do this when we request a HTTP request. We need to use a different thread, or we need to use a synchronous mechanism to do that. So that's why we need to declare another class which extends from the async task and do something. So inside async task, we basically use the HTTP request object, and we get the parameter, which basically is a URL in this case, and it was send a request, right? And then if a request return OK, then everything's done. Okay. So that's actually then we're ready to go. But before we go, I don't know that you noticed that, but previously we clicked this button, right? This triangle button, which is the play button. But right now you see there's a sounder beside the play button. So this is a new feature introduced in Android Studio. It means incremental building. Previously, when I build, it takes several seconds, right? Let's see if I click this button. Hope it will be super fast. Oh, okay. Unfortunately, I think I did some. Oh, okay. Oh, let's do. Oh, let's change the code a little bit. Okay. Did you see that? Did you see the flash thing? It compiles less than 1 second, so it's really fast. Okay, so yeah, I think I can control from here. I can do start. I can do stop, which is like the interaction with the program. I do a start, and then if I facing down, then you see it. Oh, oops, facing down, right? I hope that in my Twitter account, I get a new tweet. Yeah, I think this is the no, this is face down too. Okay, believe me that it will work eventually. Okay, this is the previous example. Yeah, like I did the demo. I used the application to tweet on my Twitter. But let's do another one, which is facing up. Oh, okay, sorry. So I used the previous code, which is have an So I guess previously I also tweet to Chengpeng's Twitter. Okay, so this is everything about the first demo, and I think it's like 50. Okay. Do you want to like do the second demo? The second demo is about the IPCon demo.
Maybe just very quickly, 5 minutes.
5 minutes? Oh, yeah. Maybe just show the result. Okay. Okay. So in this entire project, usually in a project you only have like one module. If you want to have like the phone application and the watch application, probably you have two modules. But this is a little bit unusual in this case because we have two modules, and each module stands for one application. So what I'm going to do is that I will open the second module, which is the beacon demo. Okay, wow. Oh, okay. I think we're here. Oh, sorry. Oh, so another thing. You also need to switch your target. You need to change to beacon project. Oops. So, okay. So, this is the beacon I'm looking for, and if I close to the phone, hey, this is not quite stable right now. So it's like if they are really close, it should be like the RSSI should be very strong, right? Like minus 56. But for some reason, I think they changed the API, so it's actually not very stable right now. Okay. So if this is like, so the idea is that if I mount my beacon here, right? And let's say if I carry my phone, oh no, I think my phone's reading. If I carry my phone and then if I come in, then it will be very close. Then I will detect that it can imply that I'm in the office. And let's say if I take my phone outside the office, let's pretend this is a beacon and this is a phone. So I move to here. Can you see like the RSSI decreasing? Yeah, it is decreasing, right? One more, it will trigger it back.
On the scanning.
On the desk? No, it cannot be too close. Oh no. Oh, it's glued.
Yeah, but it's really unstable.
Yeah, but as you can see, if this is like, if you're faster, the RSSI changes, right? Change to a like smaller value. But it's very close, then you will change to a larger value. And you can use this thing to do some applications too. So this is about a demo.
Okay, so you guys. On the board is GitHub, so in case.
Stop. I cannot see. Oh, stop.